Hi guys, welcome to our channel. Today I will be showing you how to make your own Christmas themed scrunchies at home. For that you will be needing measuring tape, a stitching chalk, safety pin, any pencil or any stick which you need to do the scrunchie material inside out. I will be using a crochet hook. You can use anything really which is nice and strong and straight. A needle for doing the end of the scrunchie hemming, a scissor, and of course some elastics. So as you can see in the video, I've already made one Christmas themed one and one just plain one for everyday use. For this size of scrunchies I have used 3.5 width and 20 inches, so all measurements are in inches, 20 inches lengthwise, 3.5 inches widthwise. However, I wanted to show you, because I've already made one thinner one, I'm just going to show you with the little bit wider measurement. So we will be using 4 inches widthwise and 20 inches lengthwise. Right, so I'm just gonna go ahead, clean my station. Let me just quickly show you the fabric, the one I'm using. Nice cool Christmas one. Right, before I clean the station, let me just show you the fabric I will be using. I've already used some of it, as you can see. How pretty is that? Nice and Christmassy. Right, let me just quickly clean my station and then I'll show you all the measurements, how to cut and make a scrunchie. Now that my station is cleared, as you can see, I've put the fabric upside down. Always try to cut or mark your fabric upside down. Right, so we're going to start with measuring the length of it. Use a measuring tape, and that's around 18 inches. And on this side we have, let's see which side is bigger, we'll use that side. Oh, I could do with the new measuring tape. Righty-ho. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use this side. Yeah, that's around like 20 inches. So reason being for 20 inches is we're going to use I'm going to show you the measurement of elastic first. So I will be using 9 inches of elastic. You do need double the fabric, that's why we're using 9 inches. You can use less. I wouldn't advise using more because then this crunch won't be there. You can use 8 inches if you want, but I personally prefer using 9 inches of the elastic. You can mark it and cut it, but I'm just gonna like hold it and cut 9 inches of elastic. That's it. So that let's put that on side and mark our fabric. Right, now I'm gonna go ahead and measure the width of the scrunchie, which as I said, I will be using 4 inches now to make it a bit more thicker, chunkier, you can say. So I'm gonna just mark 4 inches of that, and we don't need to mark the length because we are using the entire fabric anyway. But if in case you're using extra fabric, like which is like more than 20 inches long, I would definitely recommend measuring 20 inches. You can do double of 9 is 18, but I would definitely say 20 inches. It will give you a little bit of margin for your stitching as well. I'm gonna go ahead and mark straight line. It's just easy to cut. If you're a beginner, you don't have to. You can iron, fold it and iron and cut it, but this is the easiest way to do it. I forgot to mention, we will also be using a sewing machine to stitch the scrunchie. That's very important. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the fabric. Let me just turn it around. There we go. Makes it a bit more easy for me. Right, let's start cutting. So that's why I said just mark a straight line. It's just easy for you to cut straight, especially if it's a fabric with a lot of pattern like I'm using. Just gives you nice straight line, then it's easy to follow to stitch. Right, once you've got your desired length, let me just show you that's how it should look. So as I've already mentioned, make sure that you've used double the amount of your elastic measurements, and that has magically appeared. Right, so can you see how small the elastic is? That's 9 inches, and you need a scrunch. So you can see I already made one which looks nice and scrunch. So if you don't use enough extra fabric, it won't give you that scrunch. So now I'm gonna go ahead, set up my machine and stitch it. But before that, let me just explain it to you. Right, so on the sides when you're stitching, you fold it twice. That's why I said have extra fabric. So let's say if you are, let's say like 0.5 centimeter, you can even mark, or let me just show you in by folding it. So if you find it easy, mark it and turn. I'll show you a little small hack. If you fold once very thin and twice, it just gives you that hold of the fabric, and it gives you really nice clean finish in the end. We're gonna do this side and also on that side. Once we are done, then I'll explain the next bit. Let me just set up my machine for you. So once and twice. Right. So as I've already explained, the corners you're gonna do once and twice. It gives you nice clean finish. Now I'm gonna go ahead and stitch it. Make sure that you start at the really edge of the fabric. Put your foot down. Put your needle down by using your hand, and then just go ahead and stitch it across. Take your time because it is quite a thin stitch. You need to be careful so it doesn't slip. So once you've done this side, I'm gonna go ahead and repeat on the other side. So doing the other side now, same on this side, once as thin as possible. Don't forget to put the needle down and just stitches across. Always hold from the opposite side of the fabric so it just goes straight. Right, at this point you need to make sure that you've done the double stitch, because and there is a button on our machine which will do the back stitch, so it's double stitched. That's it. Perfect. So I'm just making sure all the start and ends of the stitches are nice and secure. Let me just quickly show you from the right side of the fabric. Not sure if you can see, I've done all these ends double stitch. Once you've done all the double stitching like corners, because when you stitch it together and put it through, it gets a lot of pressure. So yeah, that's how it should look once you're done with the corners nice and tidied. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show you what we're gonna do lengthwise. So this fabric, so when you're doing the length stitch, you have to make sure that the print you want outside of your scrunchie is inside when you're stitching. So basically inside out. Now it gets a little bit complicated from this point onwards. I will try to explain as much as I can. So go ahead and stitch all the way across the length of it. Make sure each corner you're doing a reverse stitch. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stitch it for you. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and start doing my lengthwise stitching. So make sure your needle is down. You start the stitch, you do the back stitch, so you double it. So go ahead and stitch it and do like that. So if your machine hasn't got it, you can got that function, you can in the end you can like double stitch it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stitch it all the way across. Always make sure you pull the other end of your fabric when you're stitching. Just gives you a bit more control over it. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and stitch my fabric all the way across. Make sure the start and end of the fabric you double stitch so it doesn't come off when you're trying to make it inside out. For that you can use a back stitch function on your machine. If your machine hasn't got that, you can always double stitch it. Now I'm going to go ahead and stitch the length side of the scrunchie. Make sure you do the double stitch at the start and at the beginning of your scrunchie, like so. So sorry, I just made a mistake. I think I just went a bit too closer to the fabric, so I'm gonna start over. Don't worry if that happens, you can always start over. So when you're coming towards the end, make sure you do the double stitch. Like so. Right, once you've done all your stitching, can you see how it should look? So as you can see, I've just like went a bit wrong there. Don't worry about it, it can happen. Give it a nice clean if you want to. However, it is going to be inside out anyway. So now to the tricky bit. I will be using this crochet hook. You can use any stick, any pencil like that, but I personally think it is a bit easier. Right, so at this point you're gonna use the crochet hook on one side like so. It won't go through or anything because you've stitched it already. Push this bit through. Might be hard if it's your first time doing it, so from the back of it kind of push it through in. So what we're trying to do is take it inside. So can you see? So try to keep hold of that bit you folded in. Right, let me show you again. It can be a bit tricky if you're doing it first time, so don't worry, keep trying. Basically you're getting one corner, pushing it in. Once you get it slightly in, make sure you are holding that corner with your crochet stick all the way through to the other. So basically pushing the fabric through this little tunnel. Right, once it's halfway through, keep pushing that end of one side of the fabric towards the other side. So once it's through, it should look like this, like an inside out sausage. And then basically like that. That's it. Alright, let me just put it down and show you. That's how it should look once it's all out. Like a little small sausage looking like. Right, now I'm gonna go ahead and feed my elastic through with a safety pin. So you can use any safety pin. I would highly recommend using nice strong thick one, like so, this one. So this part is easy. Just put it through. Right, at this point you need to make sure the other end of your elastic, once you've put it through, you're holding one corner so it doesn't go through basically, and feed it through this little scrunchy tube you have made. Pretty easy and interesting once you get the hang of it. So be very careful if you're using a safety pin though. It can actually open inside, so be very careful Try not to do fast like I'm doing. Obviously I've done it so many times, so I know what I'm doing, but if it's your first time, take your time. Right, once it's through, make sure you don't let go the other end of the elastic. That can be pretty frustrating if that happens, which has happened to me anyway. Right, let's put the safety pin away. Right, so once that's through, it should look somehow like this. I'm going to show you how to secure it. Right, so two ends, one on top of each other. At this point, you can either use a machine. If you're a beginner, I wouldn't recommend using a machine, or you can use a needle to stitch it. I'm gonna use machine and I'll show you. It looks a bit difficult like that, however, it is entirely up to you. You can use a needle to you just need to secure it, that's all. As you can see, it might look a bit complicated when you're doing it with machine, but once you are a bit more once you have a bit more practice, then it is easier. You have to make sure one corner is on top of the other. Put your foot down of the machine, put your needle down very gently. I'm just making sure it's in the place. It can be a bit tricky, as I said, because it's like double layered. Sometimes machine's needle doesn't go through. If you're struggling, just use a needle. Right, so it doesn't have to be all perfect, but that's how it should look, nice and secure. Go ahead and cut it off. But if you think it's not secured enough after doing this, practice. If not, then just use the needle to secure it, but it needs to be nice and secure. Let me just quickly clear my station and then I'll show you the rest of the steps. That's how it should look once you've done that. Let me just clean it quickly. Okay, once you've make sure you've cut all extra threads, hanging threads. It just looks very nice and tidy and store-bought if you pay attention to all these details. Yeah, so just make sure all extra thread is either hidden or chopped off. Let's get rid of that. Okay, now, so for this bit, remember when I was telling you to make sure that the width corners are nicely stitched and tidy? That was the reason. So now we're going to put one corner inside the other end of it. So one end inside the other end, kind of going in. So that's how it should look like. Let me just quickly give you a close-up. Not sure if you can see, it is a dark fabric, but can you see where that star is? That's how it should look. At this point, you do have a choice. Like you can see on the pink one on my hand, I've stitched it with the machine. That doesn't look really nice and tidy, as you can see. So I thought I'll just do this quickly to show you. Now what I have decided with this, it looks a bit more professional and cleaner. We're gonna do an invisible stitch with hand. So for that, if you already don't know what that is, I'm just gonna show you. So you start under, come through from the top, so the end of your thread goes inside and hidden. And now where you came out from the top of it, you're gonna just like quite near to it, go inside again, under, pick the fabric under slightly like so. So it just joins like that, and then come through. Try to do it as close as possible. Oh, let me just try again. Like that, and just keep repeating. I'll show you one more time, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and finish it. So where you came out, you're gonna go in, pick the fabric from the bottom of the scrunchie, Right, I'm gonna go ahead and finish it off and then I'll show you the end results. Right, once you've done that, that's how it should look. Nice and invisible. You shouldn't be able to see the hemming of the scrunchie where you close it. So let me just show you. Nice and cute little scrunchie for your Christmas. So this is the 4 inches width I've done, and this is the 3.5. Not much of a difference, but let me just show you side by side. Yeah, so it's not big of a difference. You can always go different width if you want. You can go ahead and do 5 inches, 6 inches. It depends really how thick you want it. So there we go, 2 scrunchies for Christmas time. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Bye now.